welcome to Global Hack Week, Open Source Week. This is our last session of day one, making better hacks faster with GitHub Copilot. Let me go ahead and hide my banner here. If you haven't checked in, make sure you check in at this link. I also sent it in chat. You'll have access to Global Hack Week points, slides for joining at that link. So make sure you RSVP there. How's everybody's day one so far? Let me know in chat if you have been to some awesome streams. Today, we're going to be showing you how to get access to GitHub Copilot and how to use it in your project and challenges. So I am super excited. We do have some questions in chat. Let's knock them out real quick. So we have a question here. Can anyone tell us if there has been any code submissions as of now? Yes, there are challenges in code submissions. I will show that at the end of the session during Q&A. And hello, Harish. Everything is awesome, but a lot. Yes, Global Hack Weeks are jam-packed with tons of amazing workshops, challenges, and also the community, right? Mini events. So just try to join in as much as you can. Feel free to do it at your own pace. You don't have to join everything, and all the session recordings are available on YouTube, so you can always go back and revisit them. But I'm super glad you are here, and everybody else, let's get started. So, for those of you who haven't met me, my name is Wei, a coach here at Major League Hacking. Actually, let me turn on the music a little bit so that we have a little bit of a background music. Oh, it's already on. Cool. Now, I use he, him pronouns, and my favorite languages are JavaScript and TypeScript. So feel free to ask me any questions about that. But for this session today, we're going to be using Python. That's also a very popular language. And the fun fact about me is that I have been to 25 plus hackathons as an MLH coach. And I'm actually heading over to Waterloo, Ontario, Canada next weekend for Jam Hacks, JAM Hacks. You can check out all the MLH member events at mlh.io/events if you are interested to join them. Here is the link. Definitely check them out. Hello, Rokozent, welcome. Now, let me go ahead and get started here. So, this is a quick outline for today. We're going to learn what GitHub Copilot is. We will set it up, and we will use GitHub Copilot in an interactive tutorial to show you some of the features of GitHub Copilot. And at the end, I'm going to sneak in a little bit of a cool demo that I've been playing with using a prompt. So stay till the end if you want to see what awesome web application I'm going to build with just one prompt. Now, you may be asking, what is GitHub Copilot? GitHub Copilot is an AI pair programmer. I don't know if you know what that means, so please let me know in chat if you know what a pair programmer is. So define pair programmer. I'd love to see what your definition is, and then I'm going to give you mine. So it is an AI pair programmer that can help you write, debug, and understand code. So three main features that we're going to show. We're going to start from the bottom right here, explain, fix, and also create. So those are the three main features we're going to show. Alongside these features, I'm going to show you some best practices and use cases that I typically implement or I typically use in my day-to-day workflows. And we have an assistant for us, exactly. So GitHub Copilot is indeed an AI assistant to us. As far as pair programmer goes, in the past, a pair programmer is someone who looks over your shoulder. All right, we have another definition here. Pair programming is just having a buddy to code with, yes. Thank you for that. Yeah, it is traditionally it is someone who sits behind your shoulders and looks through your code, and as you're typing, they're going to kind of try to understand what you're doing and then help you and make sure everything you're coding makes sense and it's using the best practices and can give your feedback. But GitHub Copilot can do that as an AI pair programmer. You don't need a physical person sitting beside you anymore. This is probably a better definition where a driver writes code and another developer gives instructions for writing code. So that's right on, right on. Thank you for that definition. Help everybody understand what that is. So GitHub Copilot can now do that for you. So let's keep going. Why would you use GitHub Copilot? If you look through the slide here, look through the chart, 88% of the people, developers, feel more productive using GitHub Copilot. A majority of them are less frustrated, more fulfilling at their jobs, and more focusing on more satisfying work instead of the mundane work. And that comes with the developer, as a developer. And it's more efficient, faster completion, faster with a ton of workflows. So I hope I've convinced you at least to look at it and try it. Now, if you don't already have Python installed on your system, make sure you install Python. We have some instructions here. You can go to python.org downloads to get that installed. And just make sure your version is up to date, Python version 3. Let me just take a quick peek at what version I have. On macOS, I believe you need to type Python 3 -- version. So I have Python 3.9.6. That probably came with the macOS. But as long as it's Python 3 plus, you're pretty much good to go. And just one thing to keep in mind is on macOS, all of the commands needs to be suffixed with the number 3. So Python 3, pip 3, things like that, which we will go through together very shortly. Now, let's first set up GitHub Copilot. This is an interactive workshop, so feel free to follow along. GitHub Copilot actually lives where you write code. So not just VS Code, you can actually use Visual Studio, Vim, NeoVim, JetBrains, tons of amazing IDEs that you can pop it on. Also, you can even use it in the command line through GHCLI. Their command line tool is super, super useful and helpful for interacting with a GitHub repository, as well as using the Copilot chat. Now, for the purpose of the demo, we're going to use Visual Studio Code. So if you haven't installed it, this is the link to get that installed. I will also send that in chat. Code.visualstudio, extra J. That is a mistake. There you go. So make sure you go there and get Visual Studio installed. Do let me know in chat if you need a little bit more time to get Python and VS Code installed on your systems. And as stated in the banner below, please feel free to drop any questions you have in the chat at any point. I'd love to get everybody unblocked and ready to go. So if everybody has VS Code installed, please give me a thumbs up. That way I know you have VS Code and you have Python installed. All right. This is what code.visualstudio.com looks like, and you can just download it for your system. All right, perfect. So we got quite a few people letting me know that everything is installed. Excellent, excellent. I really appreciate it. Done. Excellent. So now that everybody has VS Code and Python installed, we are going to head over to install the Copilot extension. So if you haven't installed it just yet, you can either go to the extension panel on the left by clicking this icon, or if you don't know what the icons mean, you can always open the command palette. This is actually my favorite command on VS Code. That is Control-Shift-P on Windows and Command-Shift-P on macOS. So please remember that. You will be quizzed on this. This opens up a command palette, so all the features that you can think of that are available in VS Code will be available here. You can just type in whatever you want and it will take you right there. So once you press that, Control-Shift-P or Command-Shift-P on macOS, you can type install extension, just like that. And that will take you to the extensions panel, from which you will search for GitHub Copilot, and you will see both of them here. So we have the GitHub Copilot and GitHub Copilot Chat. I believe all you have to do is install the first one and the chat will automatically be included. So let's take a quick look and do it together. Let's go to Visual Studio, Command-Shift-P. That opens up the command palette, and we can type in install extensions. And there, I already have GitHub Copilot and Copilot Chat installed. So feel free to install it if you haven't. And the way you can tell it's installed is by looking at the little Copilot logo on the bottom right. So that will actually indicate to you that Copilot has been installed, and you can click on it to log in. Now, we got some folks. All right, perfect. You can claim the GitHub Student Developer Pack. This is a very, very great tool for students. I'm going to actually show you all the things that you get with it. But in the meantime, please go to this link, mlh.link/pack. This is a special link that GitHub has created in collaboration with MLH, and it will give you faster verification to your GitHub Student Developer Pack student verification status. So make sure you get that verified. And let's go to it together. I just want to show you a few things. mlh.link/pack. So has anyone heard of the GitHub Student Developer Pack before? If you have, like, what are some tools that you love that you use daily from the GitHub Student Developer Pack? I will show you some of my favorites. So while you are getting the benefits, starting the application, you can put in your school, you can put in your email addresses and things like that to get verified. Let me go ahead and show you what all is included in the GitHub Student Developer Pack and what are some of my favorite tools. So looks like, yeah, we have some hackers here. Heroku, Copilot, yeah, those are indeed very, very useful. Heroku is very useful for web hosting and deployments. Copilot is what we're talking about today. Copilot Pro, if you will, it is the Pro plan that students get. We get JetBrains. A few folks have JetBrains IDEs, very useful. And we have Copilot and exam coupons. Okay, that's pretty cool. So let's take a look together while everyone's signing up. This is the page that has all the GitHub Student Developer Pack benefits. And this is a long page if you look at the scroll bar. Let me just scroll down a little bit. So with GitHub Student Developer Pack, yes, we get Namecheap, name.com as well for the domain name. So everyone will get a free .me domain name from Namecheap, free domain name from name.com. You get DigitalOcean hosting credits, Azure hosting credits, JetBrains IDEs, a lot of you have mentioned, and .tech domain names, some more domain names for the win, and Heroku. So these are all the things that some of you have already mentioned. I just want to point out some of my favorites. I really like Front-End Masters course. If you're a beginner developer, you're learning about front-end, this is a great 6 months access to all the amazing courses and workshops they have. I also like Terminus. This is a very cool tool to connect to your remote servers through SSH and managing that across device. What else do I have? 1Password. I'm sure a lot of you use password managers. This is actually free. The Pro plan is free for a year. And so much more. Yeah, so I won't go through everything. Algo Expert is another one. If you're preparing for coding interviews, they have some awesome practice questions that you can practice with. Yeah, so let me just scroll all the way down to the bottom. So there are a ton of amazing resources. I highly recommend you check it out. But today, we will be focusing on GitHub Copilot Pro plan. So after you verify your student status, you will automatically get access to the Pro plan. But to work with go through our workshop together, you don't actually need a Pro plan. You can stick with the free, but I highly recommend you get the Pro for the higher limits and then the access to advanced models. All right, give me a thumbs up if we're all good. All right, we also have some hackers who have been using Copilot from Student Developer Pack. They've gotten a free .tech domain name and open-sourced course. How was the open-sourced course? I haven't heard of that before. Open-sourced course. Okay, that's actually very, very interesting. I have to check that out. Open source, open sauce. Got any settings to make Copilot a little less messy? I'm not quite sure what you mean by messy. Maybe you can comment in the chat what you mean by making it a little bit less messy. All right, let's wait for a little bit longer. If you are all set, submit your application, give me a thumbs up, or otherwise we can wait a few more minutes for everyone to get access to it. Claude 3.9 Sonnet usually performs better. Yes, that is one of the most advanced Pro models out there. We're actually going to use it today, so I'm looking forward to it. I am not currently a student. I am currently a coach here at Major League Hacking. But I do have the Copilot Pro subscription so that everybody can follow along. All right, already applied a while ago. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Now, let's actually go through the challenges because you're part of Global Hack Week, and by signing up for the GitHub Student Developer Pack, you automatically qualify for all the requirements for the Copilot Challenge. So if you go to our challenges page from the Global Hack Week homepage, you can take a look and actually submit this challenge, sign up for the GitHub Student Developer Pack. It looks like, yeah, this is the link that you can sign it up at as well. I will include that as an alternative link that you can try. Okay, so even though Sonnet 3.7, Claude 3.7 Sonnet is the model that performs better, you try different models. Yes, that is perfect. Each model has their pros and cons, their strengths and weaknesses, so they do things differently. I definitely do that as well. So here is an alternative link that you can use to sign up for the GitHub Student Developer Pack. Both of them should work fine. Okay, well, let's go ahead and continue. If you need a little bit more time, just let me know in chat. But otherwise, all the slides the slide deck will be available at the checking link, so you can always revisit. The recording will also be on YouTube. You can rewind as needed. Now, let's continue using GitHub Copilot. First up, let's start a new project. Does anybody remember my favorite command in VS Code? Does anybody remember that? My favorite command? Let me know in chat. Sudo rm. Control-Shift-P. Yes, thank you. Roko's hand, I appreciate it. So that is indeed, okay, we got a few more answers here. Thank you so much, everybody, for remembering. That one works on Windows but doesn't work on Mac. Otherwise, it could be my favorite command. But Control-Shift-P is my favorite command in VS Code indeed. So let's go ahead and type that and type in git clone. All right. And in the meantime, do you think I should stick with the white theme or the dark theme? Let me know in chat if you like the light theme or dark theme. Okay, so let's do Control-Shift-P on Windows or Command-Shift-P on Mac OS. Okay. And we're going to type in git clone. Okay, everyone says dark. So let me go ahead and switch that. Command-Shift-P and theme. See, I don't know where that option is, so I just type that, and boom, I can change the theme right from the command prompt. Let's pick a cool one. Maybe they all look pretty good. Maybe I'll try this one. Monocline dimmed. All right, better? Cool. So yeah, so many people asking for dark. All right, so let's actually continue our prompt. So let's open up the command prompt and type in git clone. And here's one thing you have to click is clone from GitHub. All right, so let's click clone from GitHub, and from which you can type in mlh/copilot starter. So this is the repo that we will be using for our demo today, mlh copilot starter. I believe it's on the next slide, clone from GitHub, and then we can go to mlh/copilot starter. And from there, you can click on it and select the folder you would like to put this into. I'm going to put it in downloads just to keep it simple. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I'm going to click open. So this is going to open the GitHub Copilot starter, the Copilot starter repository. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you were able to open this repo locally. By the way, can y'all hear the music at all? Okay, I just turned up my volume. I can hear it now. Oh, you missed the repo? Don't worry, I got you. Here it is. When I typed the command, it only gave you a list of your own repos. You can't find the MLH Copilot. Make sure you type it exactly like this. And if that doesn't work, you can always go to github.com/mlh/copilot starter and then open it from there. So you can clone it from there as well. So I'll just show you. You can also go to the GitHub link directly like this and click code, and then local, you can open with Visual Studio. So that's another way you can clone it locally. I'll send the link in the chat as well. All right, you're so very welcome. Okay, now that we have the app.py open, do we have any Python experts out there? We have about 50 people watching this stream. Do we have any Python experts out there who can tell me what this piece of code does? All right, we got some Python experts out there. Excellent. Tell me what this piece of code is doing. Maybe in 2 sentences. All right, we got more Python experts. All right, creates a server and returns the current time in seconds. That's perfect. That's perfect. Anybody else? So I have a follow-up questions for y'all. Like, what is epoch? And what is the current time in seconds? What does that mean? Seconds from what? So we have returns the current time, returns seconds, iteration, January 1st, 1970. Epoch is like one full training cycle. Time since I think a day in 1970. Yeah, so a lot of you already know what epoch is. But when I first looked at this word, it's so foreign to me. Like, I have no idea what this means. I thought, is it Disney? Like a Disney park, Epcot? Is it related? I had no idea what this meant. And I didn't have Copilot at the time. But now, with the help of Copilot, like, we can easily look at this piece of code as a beginner. I don't need to know anything about it. And all I have to do is open up the GitHub Copilot prompt, which is Control-I on Windows or Command-I on macOS. And you can type in /explain. So this is the first command we're going to show you. You can type in /explain. So I'm going to select the piece of code I need the explanation on. Control-I on Windows, Command-I on macOS, and just type in /explain. And we're going to use the most advanced model, Claude 3.7 Sonnet. And as you can see here, GitHub Copilot Pro comes with a ton of different models that you can use. And I'm going to hit send. Okay, so now you can see it is generating some response. Let me actually click view in chat so I can have a bigger window here. And just like that, Copilot has given us a breakdown of all the components in this piece of code and what everything is doing. So you can see Flask, it even has syntax highlighting. So Flask is imported, time module is imported to do that. Flask app is initialized. And as some of you have already alluded to, the current time, epoch indeed means the current time in seconds since January 1st, 1970. So epoch means January 1st, 1970. And seconds since epoch means seconds since that date, which is pretty cool. Give me a thumbs up if you now understand what epoch is and what this piece of code is doing. I guess the last piece of the code is creating a route that returns that time. All good? Does anyone see any issues with this piece of code? Everything's good? All right. Let's keep going then. Yeah, thank you. Vishal. Appreciate it. Now, I want to see this piece of code in action. So I want to actually start this piece of code and actually run it, right? So you can see a few different things here. So seeing this piece of code in action, and then we can actually set up a Python virtual environment. This might be very familiar to some of you. Maybe it's foreign to some of you. And you can run Flask in debug mode. So we can do that. We can follow the instructions and do that ourselves. But what if I tell you we can have Copilot do it for us? So this is a brand new repository I cloned locally. I haven't touched anything. I'm going to change Copilot into agent mode. Let me actually scroll up a little bit so you can see the bottom of my window here. A disclaimer, I haven't tried this before, so let's see if it works. I'm going to change the ask mode to agent mode, Copilot agent mode. And I'm going to say install and run the Python Flask application. And I'm going to, let me just zoom in a little bit so everyone can see it better. And I'm going to hit go. So this is actually going to read my files. It's now reading my requirements.txt file, which defines all the requirements for all the Python packages that we need to install. And it's asking to run a command. So let's do it, continue. And just like that, it says pip not found. And that is probably something that we need to fix, because as we know, on macOS, the command is Python 3 and pip 3, not pip and Python. So, oh, I see. Our Copilot AI agent is able to identify that and switch the command automatically to Python 3. So you might not have this problem when you're running it locally, but just because I haven't set up the Python alias, it is giving me this issue. But as you can see, it is running. Okay, so all our dependencies are actually installed, but it actually also made some edits to my file. This is actually a bug that I was hoping to demonstrate, but the AI agent was so intelligent that it already fixed it for us. So let's go ahead and hit cancel and run this locally without the fixes. The AI agent is just a little bit ahead of us here. And we can run the application now using our instructions here, using the python-m flask run --debug. So just so that everyone knows what we've run, we have installed the packages like this. I will also comment the command here. We first installed the packages, and now let's run the Flask application. And we can run the Flask application using this command here. So let's do it together. Okay. Python 3-m flask run --debug. So to our Python experts out there, what does this mean, and what does --debug do? Does anybody know? Please let me know in chat. So I'm looking for our Python experts out there. Why does your chat include more explanations for each step? So just double check you're using Claude 3.7 Sonnet on the bottom here. And make sure you are on the Copilot student version after you have verified your student status. Okay, so looks like we haven't gotten the answer to it. I'll just explain to you real quick. My Copilot doesn't let me choose the model. That's probably because you don't yet have the student status verified. So just wait a little bit. For now, you can follow along. All right, starting application in debug mode. Thank you so much for your answer. That's exactly right. What debug does is actually very, very helpful during development, because if you've made a mistake, you can just go in there, make some changes, and save. The server will automatically reload with your changes so that you don't have to manually kill it and then run it again. So that's why we're using --debug here, to make it a lot simpler to test our changes. All right, thank you so much for your reply. Now, let's actually go to it. So this is the error we see. Let's actually try it together. You can see our application is now running here. Let's just hold down Control or Command on macOS and click. Let me highlight this and click. All right, there you go. Boom, we now have an error. And this is where I need your help again, all the experts out there. What does this mean? As a beginner, as you know, I'm a JavaScript and TypeScript enthusiast. I'm very new to Python. I don't really know what this means and how to fix it. All I know is this error message. Let me go ahead and copy that. I want to learn backend. Which lane should I use? Okay, please ask at the end after our demo, and I'd love to have a little bit more chat with you on that. How to start application in debug mode? Yeah, we're using this command here, Python. Let me actually pop that in chat so that everyone can access it. All right, perfect. So we see this error, right? I really don't know what this means or how to fix it. But you don't have to worry about it anymore, because we got Copilot on our side. We do have an expert here who's telling us it is a type error, and you should return the data in string. And as we can see here, we're returning the seconds, which is an integer. But if I'm not an expert like Vishal, what do? I can ask Copilot. And that's where Copilot shines. So I'm going to actually select the piece of code that I believe has some issues. If I don't know, I just kind of highlight the whole thing. You know, I'm encountering this issue on this file. How do I fix it? I'm going to press Control-I or Command-I. And we can use the / command, which is /fix, okay? /fix. And of course, you can just type in /fix, and the AI can try to see, you know, look through the code, see if there are any errors, and fix it. But if you're a kind human, like I sometimes are, I would like to help it a little bit by pasting the error message. This way, AI knows a little bit about what issues you're facing to better assist you. And I'm going to keep Claude 3.7 Sonnet as my model and just hit go. Okay, and just like that, Claude 3.7 Sonnet has given us a response. All we needed to do was wrap the response in a string so that the correct type is returned. And boom, it's done, accept, and I can hit save. We can see the server has detected some changes and it reloaded the app. And now let's go back and hit refresh. And just like that, we now have the API returning the correct time since epoch. So it has been 1.7 billion seconds since epoch. right. So I just demonstrated to you the power of /fix. And just like that, we have fixed the error. So you can see we went to the GitHub Copilot prompt using Control-I or Command-I, typed in /fix, pasted in the error, and it has provided us with a fix. So give me a thumbs up if everyone knows how to use this command now. And just a quick recap, we learned /explain, which is very, very useful to explain code that you're unfamiliar with, maybe in an open source project you're working with, or a new team project. Someone is working on front end. If you're a backend developer, you don't know what they're doing, or vice versa. You can actually just go in there and really be able to explain the code without bothering other people. You can learn it yourself. And we learned about using /fix to fix errors. You can give it some help or not, and AI will do its best to help you. So we got a few thumbs ups, so I really appreciate all of you for trying out the first 2 commands. And quick question, can we use Copilot on IntelliJ? Yes, you can. So it is a supported IDE, so you can definitely install GitHub Copilot there. Excellent. Looks like everyone is with me so far. And now let's go to the next section of the tutorial or workshop. Looks like we only have 13 minutes left, so I gotta hurry before the Today in Global Hack Week. So now let's add to the program. There are a couple ways you can add to the program. First way is the same. We can open up the GitHub Copilot command prompt using Control-I or Command-I and just type in what you need added to the application. So let's do that together. Command-I, add an hours root. For example, and hit go. And just like that, Copilot has added the root for /hours that will return the number of hours since epoch. But AI makes mistakes. And in this case, if you are a Python developer, you know the indentation is incorrect. So let's fix it together real quick. Of course, you can have AI fix it for you, but in the interest of time, we'll fix it by using Shift-Tab to kind of move them towards the left a little bit, and then hit save. And just like that, we have created a /hours root. And then we talked about pair programmer, right? Pair programmer actually helps you as you're writing code. So you don't need to really, give it a prompt and ask it to do things for you. You can actually just start writing code. For example, minutes. It already knew that I wanted to do minutes since epoch, so I can just hit tab to accept it and tab again. And Copilot has created the /minutes root for me. And if I just keep going, Copilot thinks maybe you want a seconds root, which maybe I do. Milliseconds, nanoseconds. So just like that, in a few tabs, I created tons of endpoints. And AI has really helped me out. It saved me so much time to do all these mundane work. Right? So that is a quick demo of showing you how to actually code with Copilot. You can ask it to do work for you. You can pair with it and use tab to accept suggestions. Another thing I could do is I could just use the agent mode. So instead of typing, I could use the latest agent mode by clicking this and changing it to agent. If it lets me, it doesn't let me. Let me start with a new, looks like my Copilot I might have to restart my window real quick. Let me just do that real quick. Okay, I'm back in agent mode, and I can say create /minutes and /seconds roots. And this is actually reading from your whole project, trying to identify what you need to do. And GitHub Copilot will go in there, go in this file, and apply all the edits, just like that. So very, very useful things. Indentation is wrong. That is correct. Thank you for pointing that out. So AI does make mistakes sometimes. And with that, I'm going to share with you some resources. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to say. Remember, Copilot makes mistakes, and it won't understand you every time. So make sure you are reviewing the code that it's producing. Just like an autonomous car, if you get into an accident, it is still your fault. It is not AI's fault. So you'll need to understand. You'll need to be able to read and edit the code it produces in order to maintain it. So here's my pitch. Add Copilot to your team. Copilot is here for you this entire weekend at Global Hack Week or your hackathons. It can even do more with more complicated code than the example I showed you. So please add it to your team. It's like having an extra teammate on your side. So everyone on your team gets an extra set of hands for help. And a quick recap, we learned about the explain command, the /fix command, and how to use it to create new code. And here are some additional resources. All these links are available at the checking link, which I will resend so that everybody can get access to the slide deck. And let's go into a little bit of Q&A. I have a question for y'all. Like, what is a favorite company? What is your favorite company? Is it Tesla? Is it Berkshire Hathaway? Is it Apple? What is your favorite company? I have actually been Tencent. Okay, Tencent, NVIDIA, Apple, Bing, Google. Okay, Google. Okay, so I want to show you this. So someone asked me, Cisco, Microsoft. All right, so we got a lot of options here. Everybody's chiming in with their favorite companies. We only have like 6 minutes left before the next stream. So someone is asking, what is the advantage of using agent mode? I'm going to show you right now. So I believe Google got the most votes. So let's take a look at Google's annual report, Google Financial Report, full report. Okay, so this is the financial report from Google, right? I'm going to show you, so this is the prompt I have created before this session. It is a prompt to generate a web page in a grid layout to explain the annual report of any given company. So I'm going to put in Google annual financial report with the link, all right? I'm also going to paste in my prompt. I defined what I wanted to see, the technology requirements and visual effects, and content guidelines. So all the things I have predefined. So let's go ahead and paste that in and hit go. All right, let's see if it works. So now it's actually reading my test file, which I don't want it to do, but it's okay. Let's see what it does. In the meantime, I can answer some questions. So we have someone asking, I want to learn backend, which language should I use, and learning resources. So one website I highly recommend is, here, in the meantime, let me just stop this real quick, delete it. and start it over, and get the annual report URL again. Delete the prompt as well. Create an index.html and hit go. So fingers crossed. I hope it works. Let's see if it works. Okay, I'm going to give it permission to read that page. All right, excellent. So someone asked, I want to learn backend, which language should I use? I want to show you this website, roadmap.sh. It has some amazing resources for developer roadmaps, and you can go to backend, how to become a backend engineer. So there are different languages that you can use. I'm a little bit biased. I like JavaScript, TypeScript, but you can use any of the languages that you're familiar with or you'd like. If you're a beginner, I recommend going with JavaScript or Python, just for simplicity. Afterwards, you can move on. A lot of the concepts are very similar, move on to other languages. But you do have to learn about all the different concepts behind it, because programming language is just a tool. Frameworks are just a tool. There are a number of things that you need to understand in order to use those tools and implement Learn Backend effectively. So these are all the things that you'll need to know as a backend engineer. I know this looks like a lot, so you can always start from the top and go down as you go. All right, so it looks like it's still trying to create a web page. I don't know if there's enough time today to get this through. We'll wait for 2 more minutes. If it doesn't work, I'll show you the results that worked for me. All right, thank you. We got some more Googles, appreciate it. Binance, it's also pretty good. How to get into MLH Fellowship. So MLH Fellowship program is a 12-week internship alternative program for students and early career technologists. Right now, I believe the Summer A application has closed for software engineering. But if you click the apply link, you'll be able to see, the requirements and the dates below. You can also learn more about different programs under FAQ. You can learn about different programs under programs, and you can learn about the application process, eligibility requirements, and things like that under the FAQ link. This has a ton of amazing resources on how this internship works, how that fellowship works, how our fellow match to projects, how does MLH review your code samples so you know how best to prepare your application, your code, and your essays. So I highly recommend you check all of those out. For Summer B, I believe we have production engineering program, currently still accepting applications from North America and Europe. But in the future, please watch out for announcements in the fellowship FAQ program to get the latest information. So it looks like it is finished reading the SEC document, which is so long, right? It is now generating index.html file as we speak. You can see it has already come up with a title, including all the necessary scripts, the contents. So let's just wait a little bit longer. I think I got 30 seconds left. So let me just hurry up. Okay, looks like the file has been generated. I'm going to keep the file and actually open this up with, let me just open this up and review it in Finder and just open this up. And boom, just like that, we now have a beautiful web page that summarizes Google, which is Alphabet Inc's annual report, right? In just one prompt. And you can do this with any company. With that, that is time for my stream. If you want to chat with me a little bit more, I am going to be streaming right after today in Global Hack Week. And if you could, please submit a survey, feedback at GHW feedback, so that we get your feedback from this session if there's anything we can improve on. So I really appreciate it. And then lastly, we do have our Today in Global Hack Week happening right now. So let me hop off so the team can hop on. I will be running the Figma to Code workshop right after though, so stay tuned. Thank you, everybody.